This is Matt for Into Boxing. I'm delighted to be joined by former world champion Enzo Maccarinelli. Enzo, we're here in Cardiff. Huge fight coming up at the weekend. Chris Eubank Jr., Liam Williams. A lot of needle in this fight as well, which makes it a little bit more exciting. Talk to me about this fight. Break it down for us. It's a great fight, especially for this city.
It's a massive fight. It's hard to say. Would it be a crossroads fight for the two? I don't know. They're still pretty young, but you know, this would be the winner of this goes to a major step again, a world title shot again. It's just a fantastic fight. It's a clash of styles. It's a good interest, intriguing with the trainers as well. So it's just a massive fight.
What do you think about the training situation? We'll talk about Roy Jones Jr. first. Obviously, we've seen him try and implement some of his stuff with Chris, and we've seen slight differences in Chris's fighting style. What do you make of the influence that he seems to be having on Chris coming into this?
Well, I'm not too sure, to be honest, because the couple of fights I've seen when they were working together, I weren't particularly keen on the way Chris was boxing. I think he was trying to be too much like Roy, and no one can be like Roy, and it was strange to see. And after about 3 or 4 rounds, he went back to his old tactics, hands up, chin down, relentless pressure, loads of punches, uppercuts. Just it's going to be hard to see. I think if he tries to box out Roy, I think Liam will pick up a lot of the early rounds, and it might be the same case as Billy Joe Saunders, where he just leaves it too late to come back into the fight.
What do you think about the other training situation? You know, Adam Boothoo's come in. It was Dominic Ingle who was training Liam Williams. It's a bit strange that, obviously, because you've got Adam Boothoo's training Harlem, but yet he's training Liam to fight Chris. What do you make of that whole setup? That must be strange going into knowing your trainers actually with the other guy. What do you make of all that?
It's a mad situation, but I know Adam Booth is a professional, so I'm hearing that he made sure none of them were in the gym at the same time. You know, they cut them apart, spread their times out, so they never actually see each other training, which is obviously good for Liam. He's done, you know, at the end of the day, I seen someone interview Harlem and saying who are going for. Obviously, he's going for his family.
Did someone actually ask him that?
One of the most stupid questions I've seen. You know, obviously blood's thicker than water. But I don't think it's going to have too much of a bearing. Like I said, he kept them apart. They haven't seen each other. Like I said, Adam's a professional. He's going to get Liam to execute the plan the way he wants. And I actually think Adam Booth is a good fit for Liam Williams.
Yes, absolutely. Looking at the rest of the card, one fighter that sticks out apart from that is Clarissa Shields. She's come over here, big personality. She wants the spotlight. She had it yesterday at the open workout. She was brilliant. She absorbed all the crowd's love for her. Looks like if she gets through this, she's on a collision course with Savannah Marshall. What do you make of that fight if that happens? That's one of the best fights that could be made, especially for women's boxing that's on the rise.
That's a massive fight. It's a really good fight. And for Marshall, it's a chance to really get into the limelight, like we've seen with Katie Taylor and Serrano. People know about Katie Taylor, they know about Serrano. People know about Clarissa. Yeah. Proper boxing fans know about Savannah Marshall, but the actual world don't yet. So this is her chance. You know, that's why Katie Taylor and Serrano is making such a big buzz at the moment, because everyone knew them, everyone know who they are. Everyone knows Clarissa. But this is a chance for Savannah Marshall to do her bit. I think in Newcastle, March 12th, I think. Get out of the way, look impressive like she's been looking impressive, and get her a big chance. And you know, I think it's a tough fight for Clarissa.
It's a really good fight though, and it's one that I think we've seen such a lot of change in women's boxing there. It's not even just women's boxing, it's just boxing. It's just part of the world now. We've got Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano, you know, 7-weight world champion versus Katie, who's almost put women's boxing on the map. How do you see that fight going?
Taylor Serrano.
Yeah.
I don't know. The last couple of fights, Katie Taylor hasn't looked her usual self. She hasn't looked her 100% best. She looked like she was on a decline. But then it could be the fact, is she on a decline? Or because she needs that motivation? Because she hasn't had the motivation the last 2 fights. You know, I've met Katie, I've watched her training. Proper pro, exemplary what she does. But like I said, she hasn't looked the greatest the last couple of fights. But it could be down to that lack of motivation. Some fighters really need that challenge, that fear to get it, and she's going to get it this fight. And Serrano, big puncher. I think her not being over, I think her record is a bit padded as well as some parts. But it's a very, very good fight.
Sticking on to women's boxing, yeah, I'm going to say, and you mentioned motivation, Katie Taylor will have all the motivation in the world there, because these are the two who everyone's talked about putting together, and you're on Madison Square Garden, not the little arena, the big arena, which will be sold out. It's going to be a stacked card. Jake Paul's behind it. I want to stick on to women's boxing, sorry. One of your friends, Ebony Bridges, she's going in a really tough fight. I spoke to her in Leeds against Cecilia Roman. What do you make of that fight? She's in another world title fight. You think she can do the business?
100%. I've worked with Ebony. I've seen her. I've seen the way she's improved. I've seen the way she's developed. Look, it's getting. Not a lot of people know Cecilia Roman. She's a tough girl. She's hard as nails. I won my world title from an Argentinian. He was hard. It was like punching the side of an house.
Yeah.
Like but I think Ebony's. She's got very underrated boxing skills, and I think a lot of fans don't really see what she can actually do. She sacrifices a lot. She's a tremendous grafter, and I'll go out and I'll stick my neck in the line here, and I actually think she stops Roman. We've never been stopped, but I do think she stops her.
Because we see that in her, we see that obviously that I say it, like the dog in her when she's in that fight. She's, we saw it in the Courtney fight. We see it when she's fighting through pain, but she has got underrated boxing skills. Like her defence in the Courtney fight, up to obviously when she got the eye injury from the headbutt, she was catching a lot on the gloves. Do you think there's more of her to come, more that she can show? And obviously she's under Mark Tibbs now, so will he bring the best out in her?
Yeah, I'm assuming so, and she's got a style, and I'm sure Mark's not going to change the style. Might give her a bit of finesse to the style. Like I said, she got very underrated boxing skills. She's got a lovely jab. She throws lovely body shots, which you haven't seen. And I think the Courtney fight, give her not just the injury, but give her a little bit of this injustice, because that fight was a lot closer than the judges had it and the commentators had it. A lot of shots were blocked. They were rolled. She countered, and then against Gangloff as well. A lot of people had her losing. People who never know how to score a fight. People who don't know how to score a fight. And if you watch her, she blocked mostly everything. She blocked. She rolled. She countered. She's very underrated as a boxer, and I'm sure she's going to show it against Roman, who is a tough nut.
Yeah, I'm going to say for boxing fans that don't know, our fans in general, Cecilia Roman is no joke. She's extremely talented and a very tough fighter. Moving on, final thing I want to ask you, purse bids, Tyson Fury, Dillian Whyte, finally. End of this saga, hopefully, and it looks like, congratulations to Frank Warren. He's got the winning bid. That's going to be mega for British boxing. Talk to me about that fight. What do you think about it? It's going to be pay-per-view build-up if they both go at each other in the build-up. But what do you think about the fight itself? Dillian finally gets his chance.
He gets his chance. He had a long wait. I think this is the one he wanted as well. But unfortunately for him, he's got the number one. For me, Tyson Fury is the number one. I think we're going to find out officially in about a year's time who the number one is. But I think Tyson Fury is that big, that strong, that mobile, but he knows how to use his size, he knows how to use his range. I just think it's a tough ask for Dillian.
It should be a brilliant build-up, a good fight, and look, we look forward to seeing also this fight of the weekend, Eubank Williams. So look, Enzo, thanks for talking to Into Boxing. We may catch up after the fight. I appreciate your time, bud.
Top man.